We've got a Fox Business alert here. Russia and Ukraine tensions are getting closer to a rolling boil. And now a top cybersecurity official has warned that the U.S. is, quote, already in a warfare state with Russia and should be prepared for cyber attacks lobbed from Moscow. The CEO of cybersecurity company Ergo telling a group of governors that if Russia invades and the U.S. sanctions it, we can expect a big increase of cyber attacks on businesses and the nation's critical infrastructure. In a Fox Business exclusive, we're bringing in the CEO of cybersecurity firm Trellix, Bryan Palma. Bryan, clear through this for people. What are you already seeing from the cyberspace war front?
Yeah, hey, Liz, great to be here. So we're definitely seeing the attack level rise. And of course, with what you're talking about, it's happening between Russia and Ukraine. We've been seeing a lot of these techniques happen over the last year, actually, Liz. What's interesting is that we just went by the 1-year anniversary of SolarWinds. And why that was important was because we saw nation states attacking private companies. And that was a big deal. Over the course of this last year, we've seen that activity ramp up. And that is concerning for a number of reasons. Obviously, their skill set is very high. When it comes to nation states, they've got unlimited capabilities, and we're monitoring that out in the wild, so to speak.
Well, when you say nation states, can I assume this is Russia and China?
Yes, you can. There's others, but those are obviously the two main actors for sure. And we've seen that activity ramp up. COVID obviously is a big part of this as well. Many of our corporations have sent their employees outside of the corporate walls. They're working from home and other places, which raises the risk level as well.
Bryan, what are you seeing from customers? Are they reporting that they're starting to see these bad actors tap on their digital walls, their entries into everybody's laptops and their entire systems?
Yeah, so obviously one of the things we see a lot is there's always campaigns before the campaign. So the bad actors get out there and they try out different attacks. In the case of some of these nation states, they may be doing that in one area of the market. They may be doing that in the ransomware area to understand how they can get financial gain, but also where the vulnerabilities are. They then will come back and use that potentially in times of warfare. So that's when I talk about over the last year to 18 months, we've seen that probing begin across private organizations. And now when we start to see potential cyber warfare, some of those same techniques will be utilized.
If you could say one or two of the top sectors that are really potentially the biggest targets, who would that be? You know, we always hear about the grid, but then I'm thinking the way to really bring a nation down is by hitting its money centers.
Sure. Well, our financial services are always at the forefront. They're always a target for sure. We've seen critical infrastructure more recently. The other thing we're seeing, Liz, is really moving down into the middle market and into smaller companies. That's what happens with ransomware because they're able to impact companies that are less prepared. We saw that with the Colonial Pipeline incident last year as well. And obviously that had an impact on how we got fuel on the East Coast.
You know, I was talking to a guy after the Colonial Pipeline story. He runs a relatively small business in New Jersey, small when it, you know, in the grand scheme of things. He got hit by ransomware. He said he started to negotiate with the guy. It was all through the internet. He did call some police and some authorities about it, and they said, well, you know. Anyway, they brought down the price for the ransom that they wanted. But in the end, a lot of companies can't shoulder this cost, even if it's $10,000, or governments, local governments and municipalities are hit by this as well. So let's talk about Trellix. What's special about what you do is that your company does artificial intelligence that actually morphs in real time, because now these attacks are also mutating in real time. So does yours just stay on its heels? How does that work?
That's right. So, you know, first of all, the private sector tends to see many of these attacks first. We have over 1 billion sensors out in the market. Those sensors give us what we call telemetry. That telemetry is really data. We're then able to use artificial intelligence and machine learning to correlate that data. Once we have it correlated, we have a better ability to predict where those attacks will be. You will never prevent them, but what we help our customers is understand first, how do you hunt the threats? Then how do you respond to the threats? And ultimately, how do you remediate the threats? And that's a combination of expertise from our people, but also the technology you mentioned, machine learning primarily.
Before we go, I want our viewers to understand that Trellix, they may not have heard that name, but they know McAfee and they definitely know FireEye, and you are the new merged company of those two names. When do you foresee taking that to investors out there and going public?
Yeah, great question. So we brought together two giants in cybersecurity late last year. We're excited about that. We've rebranded it. Our focus right now is on our customers and protecting our customers, especially through what I would call this latest cybersecurity super cycle. We'll do that, and we'll evaluate at the end of the year where we are, and hopefully one day soon we'll think about going public.
And I hope when that happens, you'll come be with Fox Business and the Claman Countdown, Bryan. We're watching your company. Thank you.
Would love to do it. Thanks, Liz.